Guys, and welcome into another video. Today we're going to be going over another 7-round mock draft. Obviously today we're going to be doing the Miami Dolphins. If you guys are new to this series, we're just going through, we're going to do multiple mock drafts to kind of give perspectives of which ways the teams can go, doing it differently each time, and that way you kind of get a mix of, different opinions in the same exact video all in one place. So if you guys do enjoy the content, of course, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn those notifications on, all that YouTube stuff, and comment down below if you're a Dolphins fan or if you're another fan. If you want to see your team, let me know in the comment section below. Or if you're a Dolphins fan, let me know how you want your mock draft to go. Put them in the comment section below. It would really help me out in seeing the perspectives of different Dolphins fans. Now, I will say this on this video, especially because I got it a lot last year. Dolphins videos were my most popular videos and still are to this day on my channel. So, of course, thank you, Dolphins fans, for being so loyal to your team. But these are all my opinion. All mock drafts are that person's opinion. So if you guys disagree, that is a-okay. That is your opinion as well. Let me know what your mock drafts are, and I'll have my mock drafts as well. Hopefully you enjoy mine, and hopefully I can enjoy yours as well. So I just like keeping everything as clean and as fun as we can in the comment section as well. So be sure to do that. But what we always do here is we're going to go look through the depth chart, just kind of see where we're at as a team for Miami, see what we might need to attack in the draft, and then we'll go into the drafts right then. So right away, we're going to look at the quarterback position. You have Tua and you have Brissett backing him up. Nothing of need there. Tua's your future. Brissett's a great backup to have. You have Myles Gaskin and you have Malcolm Brown as well as Laird and Ahmed, which really aren't too big, but Brown and Gaskin I think can hold it down. You could use a running back, but I think those two are really good at holding it down. Then you have Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Preston Williams, as well as Lynn Bowden Jr., Wilson, Grant, Hollins, Hearns. You have a very deep receiving core, which obviously all those guys aren't going to be there, but Will Fuller is suspended for a couple games. Preston Williams has been very hit or miss. I thought he had such a great upside, and then last year with the injuries and stuff kind of digressed. Parker's there to stay. We all know that. Will Fuller's on a 1-year prove-it deal, so we'll see what he is. We know he's had injury issues in the past and the suspension now. I think receiver's a place you could go. If you're wanting to at the top of the draft get one at pick 3, or maybe later on in the draft. We're going to be doing both today to kind of see how the team will turn out. Here on the offensive line, I think this is kind of an interesting part. You got Matt Skura, who's going to be the starting center above Dieter. Dieter, I think you can move to a guard position if you like. Flowers has been playing pretty well at the guard position, but you could move around. The thing is, I see a lot of people saying they want Penei Sewell. I hope I'm saying that right. I know I've gotten every pronunciation for it. Saying they want him, and I agree with it. You probably could slide Jackson to right tackle if I had to guess, but I think that if you were to get Penei, I think it would just be kind of weird because you just drafted Jackson last year. Hunt had started, I'm pretty sure, all games last year for you. It's just a matter of believing in the talent and letting them grow, or kind of scrapping it and seeing what you get for it. So it's really just a way of how the Dolphins are going to look at it. You can't go offensive line. You can also go the opposite way. I see the offensive line as just like mid-level right now. Skura is definitely going to help you out, and there's different ways to go, but you got to believe in progression. You can't always just give up after 1 year on some players. At least that's my opinion on it. I think that Jackson has a future in this league, as well as Hunt. I like Kindley as well, so I don't know. We'll see what happens, how they view it. We're going to be doing different things today. But then on the defensive side, defensive end, they got Raekwon, they got Wilkins, and they got Sealer, but really you can use another defensive tackle. We know that Wilkins is good. You got Van Ginkel, McKinney, Baker, and Ogba, really, really good. Landon Roberts is there. Duke Riley's there as well. I like those guys as well. Corner position, you are set. Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, Igbenogany, Needham, Justin Coleman as well. I mean, very, very good corner situation. And Bobby McCain, Eric Rowe as well. I really do think in the secondary, they're pretty much set. So secondary, we're not really going to touch today. We might look towards maybe some edge rushing help, as well as a defensive tackle. And then other than that, maybe an offensive lineman, maybe a receiver, and maybe your running back. That's really where we're at. But if you guys are ready for this mock draft, let's get right into it. So, of course, we're going to be using the draft machine on the Draft Network, 7 rounds. We make sure that it's fast, that way it kind of spits through. And first thing we're going to have is pick 3 here. Trevor Lawrence, and Zach Wilson go the first 2 picks. And here is where we have a little bit of a, okay, where do we want to go kind of situation. There's a lot of things you can do here. Jamar Chase is someone I've mocked to them a couple times. You could even go with a guy like Kyle Pitts. Gesicki I do think is really good. But Pitts is that kind of guy where you can put him anywhere. He's going to help your team, not going to hurt your team. So you definitely could look after a guy like Kyle Pitts. We already talked about Penei being there. You could go towards an offensive lineman other than him, maybe Slater, Parsons. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, but being at pick 3, I think there's a lot of places you could go and even trade down to. If you're not set on somebody, making a move here to the Eagles, make sure the Eagles can get Pitts or Jamar Chase, or making it to the Panthers so they can get a quarterback. a lot of different things. Broncos. I mean, a lot of different things you can do here. But we are not going to be doing trades. I never do trades in my mock drafts. I don't like doing it. It just kind of makes it messy. So for me, I'm going to be sticking with where it is, and I'm going to go with at least our first mock draft. We do have another one, obviously, in the same video. We're going to be going with Ja'Marr Chase. I've mocked this a couple of times already. Ja'Marr Chase is the next best thing. He would have been the number one receiver out of last year's class, and last year's class was loaded. People forget how good Ja'Marr Chase is just due to the fact that he didn't play last year. So if you don't know how good Ja'Marr Chase is, go look up some videos on YouTube and come back to this video right after. You'll see how great of a player he is, and there really should be no hate if you do get that, because that's gonna be somebody that's really fun to watch. If you think that they should go a different position down below in the comment section, let me know. What are you looking to do? If you like Panay, you want to trade down, what is your option that you want to do? But I think either way that they go, they have a lot to fix, but it's not as bad as it may seem, at least on paper. The Dolphins were right there last year. They didn't really lose too much this offseason, so I think that they're still a team that can definitely make the playoffs. But we also have another pick here at pick 18. Now, Najee Harris is still on the board if you wanted to go running back. I liked Gaskins a lot last year. And then you also got Malcolm Brown, so I don't think a first-round running back is really something that you'd want to get here. But there's a couple things that you can look at here. Edge rusher is definitely something you can look at, as you do have a lot on here. As we said, corner is not really a thing, but you can get offensive tackle. You can go after a defensive tackle. But really, that's where you're going to kind of look at towards this thing. So for us, we're going to be going with the offensive lineman here. I just think that it kind of fits the narrative the best coming into this. We're going to take Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. Just helping on the offensive line, getting more talent, moving the other pieces around, getting as good as you can up front, protecting your investment in Tua. We know what kind of injury he suffered in college. We want to protect him as much as we can, so that's something that you want to look at here. And then you look here at pick 36. Obviously, a lot of the edge rushers are off the board, and now we're here at pick 36. Edge rusher still a need. Running back, you see Javonte Williams still on the board. You could use a linebacker. Both of the linebackers are still there, and that's really good. But getting McKinney, I think, is really good. But it kind of stops you from getting guys like Nick Bolton or Collins. So for me, I'm going to be going with Greg Rousseau out of Miami since he's still on the board. I think he's a first-round talent. I've mocked him to other teams in the first round. I'm a big fan of his as well, so I think that he definitely deserves his praise. But without that, I think just getting him, well, one, he's staying in Miami, which is dope, but getting him on the edge to help out on that edge rushing presence, is going to alleviate a lot of the pressure that Wilkins and stuff is going to have there as well. So looking here, we already got a lineman, we already got a receiver, we already got an edge rusher, so we're doing really well in the draft. We could go with a linebacker, a defensive tackle, and that's really where we're at. So you could go with a guy like Nixon. Jamin Davis is still here as well. Jabril Cox is here as well. Brevin Jordan is a good tight end. Freemuth is up here, I'm still pretty sure, yeah. But I think for me, what I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking you go after an interior defensive lineman. Get some D-tackle help, because the linebacker's here. Actually, no, it doesn't show what our next pick is. Because I was going to say, because I like these guys, Warner and Surratt. I think you'll be able to get them your next pick. But you do have Browning up there, Davis. I think we just go with Baron Browning. Get some linebacker help. Help out the linebacker core. That's going to do a lot for the defense. And, of course, Flores is your coach. Flores is a defensive-minded coach. He's going to be able to use all of these guys to the best of their ability. And Dolphins fans know that. They know how good of a coach Flores is, how much of a motivator he is. So you should be proud about any defensive help that he can get. And you just got to trust that the offense is going to do what it needs to do. So we're here now in the third round, and we still have a lot of things we can do. Michael Carter out of North Carolina is still there. You still have a lot of guys. Chuba Hubbard is going to be up there and stuff like that. Gainwell as well. So I think here we're definitely going to try and look at that interior defensive line and see if there's somebody that we can take if this position thing wants to work. There we go. Marlon's the best one on the board. It's a little bit high for him. It's a little bit of a reach, but when you see what's coming after, I think it's just the best time to get somebody here. So getting in the third round, we're going to take I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I've tried before, and it's not pretty. But getting a defensive tackle, like I said, I think it's just really something that needs to be done to kind of protect that middle. We've seen teams from personal experience, the teams like the Giants, when they get those big bodies up front, it really does force the offenses to go towards the outside, and it can really help out your defense on honing in on those things. So I really do think that is a good thing for them to be able to get some pressure from the inside. Now you're here at round 4, pick 123. It's saying safety help, but you definitely could use a safety. Hufanga's still up there. We already got a receiver. This is where I think you can look at a running back that you can kind of let develop, and I think a good guy for that is Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard's a guy that was a Heisman candidate the year before, and this year, coming into the season, he had some toughness with his coach. It was a couple just uncertainties coming into the season for him, and he didn't perform to how great everyone thought he could have this season. And that's okay. It really is. I think he opted out halfway through the season. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. I'm not a big college football fan. I know it's ironic. I just like viewing the prospects. I don't like watching the games. So when you think of a guy like Chuba Hubbard, it's a guy that can learn for a year and really take over that role. So getting him some small reps behind Malcolm Brown and Gaskin, I think would really help him out to where you can really attack him in year 2 and just make him your starting running back and let him run wild, because I think that would really benefit him. But when you look at here as our picks are coming up, we've already gotten a solid squad. You got a star receiver in Jamar Chase, another offensive lineman to play the opposite tackle position of Jackson, whichever way you want it. A great edge rusher, Rousseau. You already got 3 starters right there. Baron Browning's going to be another starter. You can look at Marlon even to be a starter right away if you want it as well. And then, of course, Chuba Hubbard, who's going to be a little bit of development prospect, but that's okay because that's a round 4 prospect. And now we're here in round 7. It's really just a matter of getting some good special teams units, doing what you can. And I think just the best way to do that is getting receivers, corners, linebackers, that kind of stuff. And there's just a bunch of them to pick. So really, it's not a huge deal of who to pick. So we're just going to go with Cornell Powell and see if he can make the roster. But when you get to round 7 and stuff, it's really just a matter of not really filling out needs, just kind of filling out rosters, guys that could help out in the special teams department and stuff like that. And that's what we're doing. So a good draft for the Dolphins, in my opinion. I think that it's weird because usually we're used to the Dolphins having a bunch of picks, but they're not in that spot anymore. They really are a good team, and we're able to see a lot more from them. So we're going, as always, right back into the mock draft, going back into the Dolphins. And then, of course, 7-round mock draft with the speed going as fast as possible. And we'll go right back into it. So now at pick 3, like I said, we're not going to be taking Jamar Chase like we did. Trevor Lawrence, and let's see if Zach Wilson goes. Zach Wilson goes again. So we're not going to be taking Jamar Chase here. That's kind of the first mock draft that we did. It's now a matter of, can we see what else we want to do? So, like I said, Panay is up there. There's not really an edge rusher that you'd want to take at 3. This is a spot where you'd want to trade down, because all of these guys right here, all of them, from Rousseau to Ojulari, are all great talents, and any order that they go, I would not be mad about it at all. Genuinely, they are all great talents. So edge rusher is not something you can really get here. Linebacker, you could go after Micah Parsons, but it's a pretty big reach. So really for me, if you're not going Jamar Chase, I think it's got to be Panay, I think it's got to be Kyle Pitts, or I think it's got to be a trade down. I really do. Because you don't really need a lot here. So it's really just a matter of what you would want for your team now. So looking at the Dolphins depth chart again, just switching over to it. You have a Gesicki, you don't really have anything behind it. So getting a guy like Kyle Pitts would really make this a fun offense to watch. But getting a lineman as sure as Penei Sewell would really help out this offensive line and just kind of purify it the most. So I want to take Kyle Pitts here. I really do. But we already did Jamar Chase. I'm going to kind of go with what a lot of Dolphins fans, from what I've seen in my comment section below, have been saying that they want. And I think that's going to be Penei Sewell out of Oregon. He's been a stud ever since his first year there. He's really done a good job of protecting there, and you can't hate the guy. I mean, he's really done everything he can to be the best offensive tackle in this draft, and he's held that up until this point. So now you're here at pick 18, and Elijah Vera Tucker fell into our laps. Now, is this somebody that you'd want to pick? It's really just a matter. If you do this, then you're really giving up on those day 2 guys that you got last year in Hunt, Kinley, Eric Flowers, who you paid a good amount of money for. So I think we're going to stay away from Vera Tucker. We already got our offensive lineman, and here we're going to go after our edge rusher. And it's really just a matter of who you think is the best. All of these guys are really good. I personally am going to say either Ojulari or Away are going to be the best 2. I like Rousseau the most out of everybody, but he's kind of far on the board, so I'm going to switch it up. Also, I've used him in a lot of mock drafts already, so I'm going to go with Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. And you have a great edge rusher and a really good offensive tackle. You're helping both sides of the trenches there right away. And now you have pick 36, which is a pick that you acquired, obviously, and you here with a lot of options. There's Christian Barmore still on the board, who's a great interior defensive lineman. You have a bunch of receivers like Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, who had a really good pro day. You're able to pursue that need. But if you want to go over to the 3rd round to receiver, that gives you more leverage because you can go after a linebacker, because there's going to be more linebackers here than there are usually. Okay, actually, no, they just got taken. When did they get taken? Usually one, either Bolton or Collins falls. They both got taken in the 1st round. So looking at it, linebackers off the board for us. So really, if we want to go with anything, it'll probably be either defensive lineman. You can go with a running back in Javonte Williams, or you go after one of those receivers. And for me, Barmore still being on the board is awesome, and I'm going to take Barmore. So now you have 2 starters on the defensive line, and you also have a starter on your offensive line. You're really helping those trenches out. And you come over to pick 50, you have another pick here. This is a pick where you could go with Onwuzurike out of Washington. I like him a lot. Nixon's there, Tufele's there. You're able to do a lot of things like that. Landon Dickerson's still there. If you want to really build that offensive line, this is the place to do it. For me, I think that receiver is probably the best spot to go here. But you could go with a tight end in Freiermuth because he is a beast. I mean, a lot of teams are realizing that having more than one tight end is a good thing. It's a bonus, you know. We saw this last year with Gronk and Brait, and Tanner Hudson, I think is who was as well. The Giants just signed Kyle Rudolph along with Evan Ingram. Who's another one that I'm missing? There's another one, but you get the point where there was Mark Andrews and Hayden Hurst, but double tight end sets are really popular nowadays. It's something that it gives you versatility. It kind of keeps the defense guessing. So getting a guy like Freiermuth here would not be bad. I'm not going to take him here, but it is an option. I really do like Pitts. I like Freiermuth. I like Brevin Jordan. After that, I'm not too sold on the other guys. But this is a spot where you could do a lot of things here. Jamin Davis is here from Kentucky, still on the board. There's a lot of things we could do here. I'm not sure what we should do, honestly. Rondale Moore still being on the board, I think, is going to be the pick, though, out of Purdue. Really speedy guy. Can kind of take over that Wilson role, that Jakeem Grant role, and have the talent to really progress more than those guys did. You pair him alongside with Fuller and Williams and why am I blanking? Parker. You're able to do stuff. This is a guy that can step into that Will Fuller role if Will Fuller is not really something that the team wants to stick with. Because you guys got to realize Will Fuller being injury prone for most of his career, and now the suspension. I mean, it's hard to invest in him long term. So getting an option to help him out is really something that it's a safe bet to do. So now you're here at round 3, pick 81. You need a linebacker. You need a running back. It says quarterback. I'm not really going to look at that. Interior offensive lineman is another thing, but really, I don't think any of these guys are going to be better than what you have in Hunt, Kinley, etc. So I think for us, we're going to look at the running backs here, and Michael Carter's on the board, Gainwell's on the board, Sermon's on the board. There's a lot of guys. I like Trey Sermon a lot. I kind of want to reach on him, but let's see what the linebackers are looking like because we might be reaching. Dylan Moses, 129. I think so. This is going to be. We could go Cam McGrone. That's still a little reach on linebackers, even though it's a need. I think we're going to go with a running back here. I think we're going to go with the running back. I haven't taken Michael Carter much. I've taken Gainwell before. Sermon I've taken before. I haven't taken Michael Carter, so let's give Michael Carter. The North Carolina running backs were a tandem to watch. So getting a guy like him is going to really help out. Like I said, kind of the same thing with the Chuba Hubbard role. You're able to let him blossom into what he needs to be. It doesn't have to be right away. You can kind of ease him into the system. And I think that's something that can really help out his progression and the team in general. Because what you have in Gaskin, he showed it last year. He was very talented. So now we're here at pick 123. Sermon just went off the board, so it's a good thing that we waited. Now we're going to look at the linebackers and see who's here. Monty Rice is the next best option. And we just saw Dylan Moses go 2 picks before us, which does suck. But you're just going to go with the best available here in Monty Rice. It isn't a bad pick. It's a little bit of a reach, but you need some linebacker help. Just trying to keep it as safe as possible there. Just kind of getting some depth, too, because these are guys that, like I said, linebacker, corner, receiver, safety, those positions are positions that are going to help out in special teams a lot. When you take them in, day 3, it's something that's, hey, even if they're not as talented, you hope they blossom to that, but they can really learn to be a solid special teams player for you, long snappers, whatever you think. They definitely could do a lot of those things. So I really do like the prospect of doing that. So we're waiting here for our next pick. It's going to be a little bit of a wait, but it's going to come up nonetheless. But really, what are you guys thinking, Dolphins fans? I want to know your mock drafts because Dolphins fans have been the most loyal fans I've seen in a long time, especially on the videos. I can never thank them enough for the amount of views that we've gotten on the Dolphins videos. Both of them, I think, have amassed 10,000 views. One of them, I think, is at 14-something as of now. I mean, that was last year's mock draft. So Dolphins fans have really blown it out of the water for supporting me and my channel. So I really do appreciate it. And like I said, if you guys do enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, comment down below your mock drafts, everything. Turn those notification bells on as well. It really does help me out. But we're going to be coming up to our last pick here at 231. And that's going to be it as well. So hopefully one of these mock drafts is a little bit lined up with what you're thinking. If you guys are thinking something else, let me know what you guys are getting for your mock drafts below. I really do like seeing it all down here. So at this point, you really can go anywhere. There's not really a guy that we're looking at really too much. I do like Ashari Crosswell out of Arizona State as a good safety and can be a good special teamer, so we're going to take Crosswell here, and that's going to be it. So like I said, if you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave it a like. It does help me out a bunch, but if you didn't, just refresh that page. Let me know what you think the second time, and without further ado, that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one.